All right, so our next performer is someone who has done this a couple of times now. I always love her sets. Keep it clean. Our next performer is a comedian who puts the fun in dysfunctional, the laughter in slaughter, and the sexy in dyslexia. Please welcome Nikki McIntosh.
What's up, everyone? How's it going? So it's my birthday tomorrow, y'all. Thank you. My mom came all the way up from Tennessee just to see me tonight. And hang out with me on my birthday. Yeah. Right? Which means every year on my birthday, my mom gives me a call at 4:03 in the morning. That's my birth time for all the astrologers out there. So she gives me a call and she'll tell me the story of my birth, the 22 hours of labor she endured to bring me into this world. She'll tell me the story of how I got my name, and then which also ties into that, the story of my conception. Yes, she will also tell me against my will. But you see, you know how, celebrities name their kids after where their kids were conceived? Like Bryce Dallas Howard, Paris Jackson, or, Brooklyn Beckham. Yeah, my parents did that with me, and that's why my middle name is Madison Marriott West. Yeah, so my mom has always been a very sex-positive person, which was, had pros and cons growing up. Pro is I always felt very comfortable talking with her about sex. Con is never ever play Never Have I Ever with your mom. There's some stuff you just can't unknow. One time, I remember when I was going through puberty, my mom gave me and my friend a book to look at about our changing bodies. And I remember on this page there was a picture of a dime and then a picture of a CD. And the caption was, "Women's areolas can range from the size of dimes to the size of CD-ROMs." And as a kid, I was like, no, that's not right. No, they don't get that big. They don't get that big. And then my mom just kind of pulled me to the side and she was like, "Oh, honey, you'll know one day." And while mine aren't that big, I bring that up because I was recently looking for nipple pasties online. And I bought a size that says one size fits most. And I realized I'm slightly above the most. Like, I was trying to think of what inanimate object fits my nipple, and I'm thinking like a yogurt lid, like a Yoplait yogurt lid. Can I just use those as pasties? Just stick them on there. I grew up in a very sex-positive family, and I was naive. I thought everyone had the same level of sex education. I thought everyone just knew the facts, right? No, none of these misconceptions that we hear about where I'm like, where did you learn this? But my sex education teacher was a 71-year-old woman from Savannah, Georgia, y'all. And let me tell you, there were two things that she was very passionate about: comprehensive sex education and the Georgia Bulldogs football team. I remember one time, it was the first day of sex ed, she reads from this paper and she goes, "Wisconsin state law requires me to tell you that abstinence is the only 100% safe method from from pregnancy and STDs. I have now given you that statement. Let's move on. Let's talk about anatomy and contraceptives. Go dogs!" Yeah. So even though I'm technically good at sex, I know where stuff goes, sex ed didn't really teach me how to date or who to find, where to find decent people to have sex with. So yeah, I'm on Tinder. And my friends are always like, are you on the apps? And I was like, there's more than one? Like, that sounds so exhausting. And like, I'm good with Tinder because I like comedy and masochism. It's fine. I'm gonna tell you about a bad date that I went on. It was a long time ago, but it was like one of my first Tinder dates, and it really just chef's kiss on like the whole experience. So I went on a date with this guy who was an exterminator, and I was like, I got a bug problem at my apartment, come on over, you know? But we went on a date first, and he picked me up in his uniform as an exterminator in the van with a, you know, the giant bug on the top, you know, like how they do in the commercials. There was an animal in the back. We went to a brewery, and he ordered milk. And then he said that his grandma was his best friend, and not like an, aw, he's close to his grandma type of way, but like, oh, your grandma's your best friend. So I was like, can you take me home? Yeah, he drove me there, by the way. Don't recommend that for a first date. But I arrived home safely. Like, yeah. But half an hour later, I get a text. I get a text from this dude I just went on a date with. And this is what it said. It said, my grandma thinks we should just be friends. And I was like, I think we should never talk again. A while back, I got a free trial of Tinder Premium, and I was like, who would want to pay for Tinder? Let's find out. But you can see who likes you before you even like them, which is weird. And like, I got to figure out the types of people who match with me, and there's like a few distinct types. And like, one of the types is rock climbers. Like, and I'm like, do I look like I climb rocks or climb mountains? Like, I'm not here to find someone to climb me. Oh, hello? So, you know, I'm not gonna climb a mountain with you on the weekend. I'm so sorry, okay? But yeah, I must have good handholds or something. So I'm actually in an open long-distance relationship with a French-Canadian mountain climber. That's his job. He climbs mountains professionally, and I'm like, I don't relate. But he's so far away, and doing long distance is so hard. You know, like, we don't talk as much as we used to because life has just been super chaotic. But he'll always, you know, ask me if I'm dating anyone up here, if I'm happy, and he'll even text me back from the top of a mountain. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. So like, oh man, if it wasn't for the lack of like non-Zoom sex, that would be all I want from a relationship. That would be it. I'd be happy. But yeah, now I'm still on Tinder, responding to dudes who ask if I want to do something strange for a piece of change.